Hello and welcome to the Green Business Podcast, where we meet exciting climate entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Bharti. With me today are Arun and Rishi, co-founders of Earth Fokus, which offers interesting solutions to save water. Their first product is a device or a faucet that gets attached to our taps and reduces the amount of water that flows through it. I think what I like about Earth Focus is their focus on design. These products have very interesting names. One of them is called EcoStream Diamond. So when water flows through it, it seems like diamonds are falling. I would let them do the talking. So welcome Rishi, welcome Arun. Excited for our conversation today.
Yes, hi, Bharti.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for the lovely introduction as well. I will definitely let Arun give a larger about the company and the solution.
Yes. So Arun, when I think about water startups, only thing that comes to my mind is these IoT companies, dashboards, metering, smart meters, and things like that. Why did you want to do something which is hardcore manufacturing?
So, with respect to metering, right? Metering is more like a speedometer, like in a car. So it tells you how fast you're going. What we are trying to do is pretty much the engine that reduces down the consumption. Both are essential, both are very necessary, both complements each other. But we believe in reduction. That's the hardcore philosophy of Earth Focus. Let's say if I can reduce the building's consumption by 50%, it's not just that, right? It's pretty much everything that's associated to it. I'm talking about the energy, the tank calorie frequencies, and etc. Smart water management plays an important role. We also do smart water management, but where we bring smart water management is to validate our products. So to know that our water savers actually save water, we need smart water management to validate that. But products like our water saving fixtures are the ones that actually drive reduction.
Okay. And how did you end up starting something like that, like making a fixture for saving water? How did it all happen?
It's quite interesting. So when back during my college days, during the final end, I did not know what to do. And my neighbor actually asked me to do something for her kitchen tap because a lot of water gets wasted. And so the first thing what I did was I bought a garden hose from Amazon. And I just created a small adapter and I stuck the garden hose into a faucet. The product was horrible, but what it did was it ended up saving a lot of water. And I showed it to my college professor. His name is Professor Sangeet. He's a very, he said I owe him a lot. So what he told was, why can't you just develop this and try to make it a little bit more user friendly? And the whole idea was our very first product, a normal tap can give you somewhere close to 10 liters per minute. Even claimed water saving taps only give you somewhere close to 6 to 8 liters per minute. The very first product that I designed only gives you 100 milliliters per minute. So you can imagine the savings. But again, then we realized that the usability factor is the most important, one, right? So then we tried to tweak the product a little bit. And the very first product that we designed was only for hand wash. So our product was a retrofit that fits into your existing tap and it gives you 300 milliliters per minute. So that's how this entire thing started. And in 2019, Chennai faced a huge water scarcity. There was no water. IT parks actually had a huge bucket next to their faucets in their restrooms where people have to just use a mug and then wash their hands. It was very bad. So at that time, one of the biggest MNC clients over here, they were already testing our products. We were making multiple versions for them. And when water scarcity struck, they gave a pan-India order. And for Chennai alone, they needed somewhere close to 100 tank lorries to fulfill their water needs. And after installing our product, it was reduced down to 10 tank lorries. So you can imagine the savings of 90 tank lorry worth of water. And not just that, but also the diesel, the CO2, the scope 3 emissions, everything. And that's how it started. In fact, the water scarcity was a blessing in disguise for us, where people understood the value of water and started adopting our solutions. So yes, that's how it all started.
Okay, and how did the two of you meet? Is there a college connection or something else?
Chennai is a very small city, Bharti. Unfortunately, there was no college connection, but post us getting to know each other, we realized we have a lot of mutual friends. The idea was very simple. I was already working in an IT park during the water crisis in Chennai and during the initial stage of Corona, right? And I remember seeing the product in the news and thinking that my IT park could really use this. They are wasting a lot of water. So I ended up having a conversation about that with Arun. And clearly we are here today. We and Arun got started talking about other things as well. And once we both started having a conversation, it was very clear to us that there is this opportunity and us coming together could solve this problem for sure.
And Arun, from the time you made your first water saver to today, how has the product evolved?
I'll actually have to give credit to Corona. Because 2019, imagine 2018, just right after college, I was working in another company and, I had to employ. So I had to work in another company, get some salary to make sure that things here were going well. And our revenue was like somewhere close to 13 to 15,000 rupees for the entire year in 2018, like back during the first days. After 2019, it blew up. Like, once the water scarcity, everything blew up. And my primary market was B2B. So like I'm talking about corporate clients, commercial spaces, and etc. 2020, everything shut down due to Corona. And we were just there wondering. And in fact, the irony is people started removing our products, saying that, people have to wash their hands and we cannot afford these water heaters. And it was just a mindset and a perception, and we couldn't do anything about it. But what we had was a lot of time to think what can be done. So we went back to the drawing board and understood one thing, that every single plumbing fixture, right, it has a purpose. I'm talking not just the taps. For example, a tap in a commercial, in a mall, has a different purpose from a tap that's there in a factory. The person who washes his hands in a factory has a different mindset towards water from a person who is washing in an IT park or something as such. Right. So the idea was to design a range of products that doesn't compromise the user's experience, but still ends up saving as much as it can. So from there, we actually designed a range of products. So let's take just faucets alone. There's one in your kitchen, there's one in your bathroom, there's one in your pantry, like that. We designed like almost close to 6 to 7 products. We also included the showers. We designed products for the showers. Again, it's a retrofit. So it's your same shower head, but once you install it, it cuts down the consumption. We did the same for health faucets. People don't even realize those spray guns that you have. They give out somewhere close to 12 liters per minute, which again, most of the water goes down the drain unused. Then by the end of Corona, when business, when the organization started to open again, we had a range of products. So if it's a factory, we had a set of products. If it's a hospital, we had a set of products. If it's a hotel, we had a set of products. So we curated these, and we had a set of curated products for every specific industry that resulted in maximum efficiency without compromising the user's experience. From just one single concept over here is actually quite commendable. And again, all credits goes to my engineering team. They've been the ones who've been like, working tirelessly to make sure that the products are out.
Okay, so talk to me about engineering. So this is a product which doesn't have as much user involvement, right? Like if I'm buying a fridge or if I'm buying a TV, there is a lot more customer engagement with the category as such. So when you say engineering, when you say design, what does that mean for a water faucet, and how does that help?
People's input is definitely there. For example, during our very first prototypes or very first models that we had, I had a customer who called me and said that my home help is threatening to quit if I don't remove your water saver. So that was a great input. And because what I understood was, for people like a home helper, for them, time is money. Yeah. And they could get job. And again, they believe that a tap that's flowing fast, cleans better. And takes the dirt faster. But again, that was a valid point. So that's the problem statement that my engineering team had to solve. Can you actually give the feel of the water? Can you create a way where it feels like the water is gushing out, but you're still saving a lot of water? That's a problem statement that's worth solving, right? And again, my engineering team does a lot. It's not just with this. So there was a client where they were they were consuming almost close to 150 kiloliters of water every day in the cafeteria. It's a commercial client. But when we went and did the site survey, they were just having a valve. And when they open the valve, almost close to 25 liters gushes out per minute. And they just showed their plates, and they have close to 3,000 employees. So imagine 3,000 plates being shown with that gushing water, and only lesser than 2% will touch the plate. Everything overflows and goes down. It doesn't even touch the plate. So what we did was we created a system where we put a solenoid valve where someone has to press with their leg to make sure that the water comes in. And we again put a particular product that cuts down the consumption from 25 to 8 liters per minute. So again, there we could see a clear 40 to 50% savings over that. That is again also the engineering team doing their thing. So yes, this product is used by a lot of people. For example, in a home, a home helper or a mother would spend, or anybody could spend a significant amount in the kitchen, washing the dishes, cleaning the vegetables, etc. And even for you brush your teeth every day, so you need water to touch your toothbrush and gargle and everything. So this is a product, it's very subtle. It's not as extravagant as a TV or something as such, but it's there, it's subtle, it's there. You use it, you'll only start to realize the pain when the water doesn't come out. So that's the whole the concept. But yes, so the engineering team is still working over there. For kitchen, maybe, for example, we are right now coming up with a dual mode water saver to make sure that washing the vegetables, cleaning the dishes, everything is easy. You can use different modes for different purposes. So yes, it's there.
Okay. And so I'm assuming you still largely cater to industries, right? So who is your client and why are they buying? Is it a ESG division who has to write in the report about the saving the water, or does it come from the CFO? Maybe who's bothered about the water cost? What are the motivations for people to buy it, and what is the buying cycle like?
I would say everybody's involved in it. For example, a company that doesn't care about sustainability has free water. I'm saying even if they have free water, even after that, if you install our products, you will reduce your electricity consumption. For example, let us say that when a client is saving like 1 lakh liters of water, right? And it's not just the water, it's the energy that is used by the pump to transport from point A to point B.
Right.
It is the chemicals that we use to treat the water, the energy that is used by the treatment plant, everything goes down significantly. So even in the worst case scenario, the client will still get his ROI within weeks. We've got clients who got their ROI within days. He said that the number is too hard to believe. Can you actually just jack up the numbers a little bit so that bring it to like 3 weeks or 4 weeks so that it looks a little realistic? We had clients who said that. But let's say a good organization, an ideal organization, if they implement our products, and it's the most simplest thing that you can do to create significant change. I'm talking, it's easier than planting a tree. Rishi would say that all the time. It's easier than planting a tree. If, for example, we had a client, an MNC client, who ended up saving almost close to 41 million liters of water annually. So this amount is going to repeat itself, compound every year. And it's not just that. Imagine 41 million liters of energy. The pump pumping 41 million liters less water, right? It is not just the energy. It is also the durability of the pump. The durability increases significantly. So, everybody, from the ESG perspective, yes, there is a significant reduction of water, and you see a huge reduction in your carbon footprint. From a financial perspective, you get your return on investment within weeks. You actually reduce down your operational costs significantly. And from an organization's perspective, yes, this helps you get closer to net zero.
But who places your order? Like who comes to you and says, I want Earth Fokus?
I'll add to this, Bharti. What happens is, like Arun mentioned, most of our clients have been B2B spaces. And usually most B2B spaces are managed by a facility manager or a facility management company. So essentially it's these guys that enable us to execute these orders. But in terms of who places the order or who expresses interest, it could be anybody. Like Arun mentioned, that's the that's the most exciting part about a product like this. It is not necessary that it stems only from the sustainability team. It could stem directly from the finance team as well. If they are heavily dependent on tanker water, and this can really drive reduction, not just in the amount of water, but also in the cost that they are spending. So depending on the kind of clients, for example, we recently had a client where the client ended up being the RWA, which is the Resident Welfare Association of an entire apartment. For them, the goal was to reduce water bills per apartment by at least 30 to 40%. So the goals could be different. The product is the same. So we have multiple different stakeholders approaching us.
Right. And how does one go to market? So I assume each product will not be a very expensive item, right? It will be some 500, 600 bucks, something like that. So how does one reach the clients? Is it like a consumer company then where you have to sell on Amazon, or do you approach?
Two different things, Bharti. There again, all this while we have been a B2B focused company. That means we are heavily dependent on showing a demo to the client. The magic happens when we show a demo. And by a demo, what we mean is we essentially want to get one of our person to the side, take a video of their existing faucet, measure the amount of water it's guzzling, and install our product and then show them the difference. 90% of the time, you don't have to measure the after result because the difference is visual. By just looking at it, they know that this is clearly reducing the amount of water that you're spending. So yes, heavily it was B2B focused, but lately we want to open this up to B2C as well. We believe these products are not just for commercial spaces. That's exactly why we launched the economical polymer range. We have something called as a home kit, which is specific for homes. Anybody that lives in a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK could just buy one according to their orientation. It could cost them as less as 600 to 700 rupees, and that would cut down their water consumption by another 50%. So the idea is to make this, while the B2B is active through our channels, the idea is to also make this available online, available on retail stores, and also have an extensive network of dealers and distributors from whom they'll be able to buy our product. And for that, the goal is to become the go-to brand. If you look at this particular industry, there are only products here and there. There is no brand that you can rely on. And that becomes one of the cornerstones for adapting sustainability, right? You are ready to adapt sustainability as long as you're sure that you will not face a hurdle for the next 1 year or even for the upcoming future. So we are positioning ourselves to become that brand that becomes synonymous with water savings, not just in India, but across the world.
And once a corporate has bought, there is a demo, there is a purchase cycle, must be of 3 months, 4 months, whatever, after which the product is bought. So what else, how else do they engage with you? So once the faucet is bought, are there other products that they would buy, or maybe they would go to different locations? What would be a minimum order size that would justify so much effort?
One of the most common things when I say as a follow-up that comes is, usually after they implement the water savers, clients realize that they have not established a way to track the impact this has created.
Okay.
So they usually come back to us saying, oh, I can see that this is visually creating a lot of difference. I want to report this as a win for my sustainability team, but I do not have data. Can we get smart water management, which enables us to get all of this data, help us understand where there is excess consumption, and probably implement more solutions there. So a most common follow-up are the smart water management system in itself, which will follow up with a reduction strategy. Like Arun mentioned, the case about that cafeteria, right? That was a proper problem statement from the client saying, please install a meter here, understand how much water we are consuming here, and then implement a reduction strategy so that I can see the difference. So this becomes very synonymous with the water savers. And at times, what we also do is the water savers are giving a very good ROI for the client, right? So we offer water management on an OPEX basis, which basically makes the water management free of cost. You're just taking money from your savings and paying them towards the water management. So that's usually the sales cycle that we follow. We either start with the water management and then implement our reduction strategies, or we go around, implement our reduction strategies, create a lot of savings for the customer, who are then now able to open up to a smart water management system.
So I'm thinking water faucets is a very crowded category, right? Not many households have it, but when you go to Amazon or wherever, there are a lot of brands. So how do you think about differentiating your product?
Aarti, I'll just correct you a little bit. There are not a lot of brands in the market. There are a lot of products in the market.
Okay. Yeah.
There is no go-to brand within this space. And the biggest problem with the Indian consumer market, right, is reliability and non-compromising experience. These are the two things that we are looking to offer. We believe that the entire market is crowded with products from China, which are not specifically meant to save water or to create a sustainable future. That is just being as a trade. The way that we have designed and engineered our products are to ensure that we save water without compromising the customer's experience, but more importantly, we enable the customer to save water forever. Imagine I sell the product to the customer, and if he doesn't end up using it after 2 months, he has only saved water for 2 months. But in my record, I'm going to think he saved water for at least a year.
Okay.
So that's been the differentiation strategy for us. We want to become the brand. We want to become a reliable product in the market that customers can go to for water savings.
And how do you? I get it. Your objective is to make customers save water forever. But in customers' mind, how do you plan on differentiating yourself from the other products that may be available? How does a customer know this is a different product and this is what I'm going to get from it?
First things first, for starters, most of our flagship products are made of metal. We make it using a metal called Eco Brass. The idea is that in the pursuit of saving water, I cannot keep adding plastic to the landfill, right? So we manufacture this in metal, and the most important feature of this metal is it cannot corrode, it cannot rust, it cannot oxidate. Which means as long as you maintain this, and by maintenance I mean removing and cleaning it every 6 months once, it will last forever. It will last longer than your tap. So the first differentiation and the most solid differentiation we have done is within the product in itself. The quality of the product, the durability of the product. The next comes the design factor. Like Arun mentioned, we do not have just one flow option. We have a different product for the kitchen, a different product for the bathroom, and more importantly, with every product, we have a range of options. Let's say you're someone who's not aware of water savings. We don't want you to adapt the most efficient water saving. We want you to at least start your water saving journey with a 3 LPM or a 4 LPM water saving. This customization or this differentiation for different faucets does not happen in the market. You usually have one single product that's a one size fit all for everybody.
Okay.
And also another interesting factor is our products will always remain the same. They will universally fit into any tap in the world. And this we enable by manufacturing adapters for each and every different faucet. For example, if it's a faucet with a smaller mouth opening, we have an adapter for that, which will still use the same product as ours. And another thing I wanted to add was the most important PCA component. Usually aerators in the market fluctuate according to the pressure in the pipe. Now let's say at a 3 bar pressure, your normal aerator would give you 3 LPM, and at a 4 bar pressure, it could move up to 4 or 5 LPM. But with our product, irrespective of the amount of pressure, that is, even if your pressure is fluctuating in the line, the amount of water will always remain the same coming out of the tap. So this positions us in a very unique place for us to offer a customer a complete solution.
Okay. Actually, every tap in the country or world could use a water saver, right? It must be it seems like it's a huge opportunity. What are the constraints in tapping into it? What are the challenges that stops it from being that big a market?
People, there's a lot of perception about water savers. Yes, even that's our dream, to make sure that every single tap in the world has a water saver in them. But the problem is when such measures are adopted, people just do it to just tick the box, saying that I've done that, just doing the bare minimum. So when I say just do the bare minimum, just for the sake of doing it, people go for a low quality product. A low quality product wouldn't even last for days. What will happen is people will they'll remove the product and again go back to their old ways. This has happened in places. For example, if let's say that there's a huge community and I only have one water saver, if I put it in each and every plumbing fixture, let's say a person who wants to fill a bucket, putting a water saver over that doesn't even make sense because he needs to fill his bucket first,
Yeah.
right? So as I mentioned, just to make sure that we have done something, people just do the bare minimum, and that is our biggest worry, because we don't want people to think of this as a band-aid during water scarcity. This is we are trying to create this space where this is a lifestyle change that you will have to make. If water savers are common in the future, and I hope, and we are working towards it, even if a child looks at a tap that has an overflowing fixture, like if it overflows, the child should question, saying that why is this overflowing? I have a product in my school that cuts down the consumption, or the tap in my school doesn't waste this much amount of water. So that is where it's a very long way to go, because see, again, majority of India, I'm talking not the non-metro cities, they've just now started to get their first tap in their homes.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So it's a long way to go. Now, if I actually talk about sustainability and saying that you'll have to save that water, it'll be like, so we'll have to change. It'll take time. It'll definitely take time. And unfortunately, we as humans are we only care about something when we don't have it. And, water scarcity is a very silent villain. It's there. It's everywhere, but nobody knows. They'll only start realizing once they open their tap and the water doesn't come out. So, our goal is to make sure that, we want to do this everywhere. We want to make sure our product reaches everywhere from the nook and corner. Yes.
And coming back to, changing gears, so in a manufacturing-driven business like this, at what scale does one start enjoying reasonable profit margins? What scale are you at today, and what are the plans to go further?
We are very lean. So we do not manufacture. We do not have a manufacturing facility as such. We have different components that's manufactured by different manufacturers. Everything comes to our space. It gets assembled, tested. Everything is done at our space right now. Right now, we are in a decent space where we are moving somewhere close to 5 to 6,000 units. Sometimes, if it's unfortunately we do have seasons over here. So let's say if it's the summer season, high chances that units will move. So, we are there. But again, we do not plan to have our own manufacturing facility until and unless we reach like a 1 lakh or a 2 lakh units per month. We are doing a lot of other things. We are trying to work with a lot of OEMs, trying to develop technologies that save water, and it's more like an Intel Inside concept. We are trying to work with a lot of OEMs, but once we reach that space, I think once we reach that threshold, having a manufacturing facility would make more sense. So yes, right now we are very lean with our operations.
Yeah. No, I wanted to check like what kind of profitability one needs to have to make this, or what scale would you need to get to, even with these outsourcing sort of operations. At what scale, like 1 lakh a unit or 5 lakh units a month, would you become profitable?
Bharti, I'll chip in here. With the B2B segment, we are a very much profitable company. We have not sold one product, at least with the water savers, we have not sold a single product at loss. The idea is because we are not selling them a product, we are selling them a solution. The number games and the volume business comes into play currently for us when we open this product for the larger B2C market, where we believe start selling online, and even at an online level, you're always going to be profitable, right? It's the dealers and distributors across the world where we believe the volumes will be a significant number. And as of now, like Arun mentioned, we are at a 5 to 6,000 units per month. We are already profitable at this level. Once it goes to, let's say, a 10 or 15,000 number, we only expect profitability to increase.
Okay. And lastly, what is the next year looking like? So you said that from B2B, you are planning to go to B2C. B2B, you already have many established clients, right? So and penetration is anyways very low in India. So why go to B2C when you haven't even explored maybe 20-30% of B2B?
Because
Very
you mentioned it, you right now mentioned it a minute ago, Bharti. Everybody in the world needs this product. And there is only one way we can do that. I can't knock on everybody's door, right? The only way is to create awareness. The only way is to make it available for as many places as possible. And we believe in a continuous circular effect. Like Arun mentioned, right? I want someone to go to their school, figure out that their tap is giving low water. When they go to a mall, they will figure out that that is the most efficient water saver. And when they go back to their office, when their parents go back to their office, they realize that their office space gives out a very efficient water saver. So the only place you're missing out on is back at home, where you want to really save water. And this is not just a sustainability thing, right? In India, there are multiple flats right now that are already paying a water bill based on consumption. More than 150,000 homes. So those are our first customers. People who are paying for water, we are giving them an opportunity to cut their water bills by 50%. So that is what we are very excited for. That is what we have to look forward to as well in the upcoming year.
Okay then. Thank you, Rishi and Arun. It's been lovely talking to you. Thanks so much for your time.
Yes,
thank you.
Take care. Bye.